Yeah, all right, we are back. Okay, beautiful. Let me just see Facebook because all the comments will come here, if any. There we go. I am live. Okay, why isn't my video coming? Oh, wait, now hold on. There we go. All right, I can see myself now. All right, beautiful. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wellness Wednesdays. It is 12 p.m. here in Canada, and Umair, my hypno bro, as I call him, I've known him for almost 10 years now. I think we started our rapid transformation therapy journey together, and he is absolutely amazing. And he's joining us from Pakistan. So thank you, Umair, for joining us so late in the night for you. What time is it there?
It's not that late. It's 9 o'clock. I'm good.
Okay, 9 o'clock. That's good. That's good. That's not too bad. Okay, perfect. All right. So Umair is a certified hypnotist. He is a RTT practitioner, rapid transformation therapy. And Umair, just take it away. I'll let you introduce yourself. So go ahead, please, and thank you.
So, my name is Umair Rasman, and I am an RTT practitioner. I started my journey almost the same time as Huma, and I specialize in managing weight, anxiety, and of course, one of my specialties, my biggest specialties, is performance. And I've been at it since Huma. It's been about 8 or 9 years,
Mhm.
roughly. And I have a background, academic background, and professional background in management. And so that obviously plays in with what I do with my clients as well. And but my journey with hypnotherapy, obviously, I was introduced to hypnotherapy maybe about 20 years ago, if I'm not wrong. It has been that long, and I've been interested in it ever since. Yeah, and I had a very great experience with the hypnotherapist here, and I wanted to learn it and be a practitioner myself.
So it's been 8 to 9 years now,
Yeah, yeah,
correct? Yes, it's awesome.
roughly. Yeah.
Beautiful. Where did you do your hypnosis from?
As in my studying hypnosis or getting
Mhm.
hypnotherapy sessions on
No, no, no.
myself.
Study for yourself. Your
With Marissa Pair, with
Oh, you did the
learning.
RTT. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
good
Yes, yes.
RTT. Uh, Actually, I had been interested in hypnotherapy for a very long time since
Mhm.
I had my first experience about 20 years ago while I was at university actually.
Oh,
So it
nice.
was always in my mind, and I was always interested in mind sciences and psychology. In fact, my university dissertation was in intuition, actually, intuitive decision making among owner managers. Basically, that was
Wow.
my
Okay.
dissertation.
That was
Yeah, that
amazing.
was my MSc dissertation. So I was always interested in psychology, business psychology, and how these things affect, you
Mm,
know, the real world. Um,
right.
so I always was on the lookout for a hypnotherapy course, and I came across Marissa Pear's work with the RTT, and I studied it, and I saw all the videos, and I spoke to a lot of practitioners already, and I decided to take the plunge and learn it formally for myself.
Yeah, it's RTD is just amazing. I mean, I love how she's taken different concepts of hypnosis and put them together, and it's so powerful, so powerful. It's just been a, an
And
amazing journey.
not only that, I think people don't, even people maybe within RTT don't realize how actually versatile it is.
Hmm.
Because even if you look at how Marissa does her sessions, I mean, they are very, I mean, you can use it for so many things. And you can, there are tools within RTT, and you can mix and match them so easily. And it's, I mean, they call it RTT as if it's one tool, but it's not. It's basically a combination of cognitive behavioral therapy. It's got hypnotherapy. It's got NLP. It's got a bit of everything. I mean, you've
Exactly.
got even. I mean, she's done. Marissa has done. I mean, guided meditations. Basically, if you think about it, she has done that. So
It's a
it's a
beautiful
lot of things.
flow.
Yeah,
Beautiful
yeah.
flow.
Oh,
Yeah.
she does it perfectly. It's
Yeah.
a lot of experience actually.
Hmm.
She has a lot of experience. But I mean, it shows you that when you say RTT, it doesn't mean just one modality. It's a very comprehensive kind of hypnotherapy. Let me just put it that. So when you
Yeah.
go to a hypnotherapist for smoking cessation, we all know how that works. But hypnotherapy goes much deeper if you wanted to, basically, when you wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah. This because it's got emotions involved in it, and we with hypnosis we're working on the emotions, and then we release that at a 90% subconscious mind. Okay, let's track back and I have discussed what hypnosis is, but explain to us a little bit in your own way what hypnosis exactly is.
Well,
And
okay, I
yeah,
like to, when I'm trying to explain hypnosis to people, I like to keep it extremely simple, and I will keep it
okay,
extremely simple
please.
as well. And I don't know if I've discussed this with you or not. So again, you probably already know this. Hypnotherapy or hypnosis, it's not about sleep. It's not about relaxation. It's all basically about communication. Hypnosis is good communication. How you suggest, how you talk to the client, how you change their perception, what beliefs you implant. It's all good communication. So if you want to water it all down, basically, in a one-liner, so hypnosis is basically good communication, and that's why if somebody studied hypnotherapy beyond RDT, you have waking hypnosis and you have quick hypnosis and you have all these modalities. And when
Conversation. Yeah.
people talk about very charismatic leaders being hypnotic. Why is that? Because that's all about communication. How do you communicate well enough for an idea to be implanted in the mind? That's hypnosis.
That's beautiful.
Basically,
I love that.
yeah. It's all good communication. And if you're a good communicator, you can be a good hypnotist.
Communication, I think, is the key in every aspect of your life, especially relationships. Because you assume one thing, you expect one thing, and the other person's like clueless about, huh? And then when you communicate what your expectations are, it just makes
Exactly.
everything so
And
much better.
as well as I do. Let's imagine, Omar, let's imagine that you and I have the same skill level, we have the exact same tools, everything is the same.
Hmm.
The only difference between you and me, or how you would be better at hypnotherapy than me, would be communication, how you communicate and relate to the client. You see? So even with hypnotherapy, even our relationship with the client is so important. You're right. Communication is so important. So we can have a therapist, we can have a client who comes to you, and maybe she's a woman around your age and she may relate better to you. You can talk to her in a way she relates better to you. I can never compete with that. I can have 10 years more experience with you, but I can never compete with that. So it's you're even when you're doing hypnotherapy and you're talking to a client, it's all about how you communicate, how you get along. That's what makes the actual difference. I could be the best hypnotherapist in the world, and if I piss clients off, it's useless. So that's all it's about.
And pre-talk in hypnosis is so important because you're kind of already framing, things to them and giving them that guidance and planting those seeds.
Priming them.
Priming
You're
them. Okay,
priming
that's the
them.
perfect word. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, wow. Yeah, amazing. So what I say is, what hypnosis is, how I work is, I say I get into your mind's computer. We find the virus because we all have a virus, and this virus, is usually in your subconscious mind. So we release that virus and we download and install new programs. So we're kind of upgrading your mind through hypnosis. And then I move on to what hypnosis is not. Okay, it's not what you see in the movies, look into my eyes, cluck like a chicken, bark like a dog kind of thing. It's not that. That's
Stage
not the
hypnosis.
kind
Huh?
of that stage and street hypnosis. That's not the kind of hypnosis I practice. Mine is more therapeutic, where guided meditation. You're more relaxed. What hypnosis is not is it's not mind control, because that's the biggest misconception, that they'll be asleep and I have my magic wand and I'm going to wave it on them, and they're going to wake up as a 2.0 brand new version of themselves. And I wish, and that does happen sometimes. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but it's more work than that. We
Exactly.
uncover a lot of layers. So it's not mind control. You're very much aware of what's happening. It is not about sleep. You do not fall asleep. You're very much aware of what you're saying. No secrets are revealed. That's another one. I was like, yeah, if secrets were revealed, I'd be a millionaire right now with all your bank account information,
You
right?
won't do anything you won't do anything you don't want to do.
Exactly. So your
You
mind is
won't do
just going to
anything.
reject. Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the fourth one, this is very interesting, and Omer, you and I've had this conversation about it. That to get to the subconscious mind, you speak to evil spirits and jinns, and kind of that's how we access the subconscious mind. So,
I've had those arguments as well, and you know, and I've had to tell people, and this is partly because of that misconception of all you see in the movies, with
right,
this evil villain hypnotizing the damsel in distress and kidnapping her. So I
right.
mean, yeah, and I have to tell people like this is all. I mean, this is basically psychology. This is basically evolution, because I always tell people that we are actually wired to get into hypnotic state. Again, like when we're reading a book or
Hmm.
watching a movie, we get so
Right.
engrossed in it. I mean, this is, or we're talking to a friend and
Mm,
forget what's going on in the cafe. I mean, we are wired to be hypnotic. We are wired to be focused.
correct.
This is so natural. It's like anyway. I mean, people who have misconceptions, you can just talk to them. You can tell them. You can prove it to them as well by applying it.
Hmm.
That's all you can do.
Exactly. Yeah. Um, so today we're talking about how we can use hypnosis to enhance our natural skills. and that could be in either sports or business as well, which is so important because I feel business is the very a topic not talked about. I mean, a lot of people think hypnosis is more for anxiety, depression, and stuff. And
Yeah.
yes, but also it can help you achieve your business goals because there are a lot of blocks in our mind that can actually hypnosis can help clear. So let's talk about enhancement. So go ahead.
Okay, so let me just explain to you what I mean. So when we all came into RTT hypnotherapy, and again, most of the people who come to us are looking for, most people come to us with some sort of anxiety, and then
Mm,
you can say, okay, why the anxiety is there? It's a relationship,
correct.
and whatever. Okay, so
Mm,
but hypnotherapy, as we've been taught mostly,
mm,
and how it's been explained mostly these days, it's always from a pathological point of view, like typical traditional psychological point of view, that there's something wrong with the person and you have to fix that. But the positive psychology approach is that you don't look at what is wrong with the person, you look at what is right with the person, and then you enhance that. Okay, and if you think about it, even with, let's say, we can work with people who have anxiety or depression all day long, but what about people who do not? What about people who are doing well? Can they benefit from hypnotherapy? Yes, they can, because whatever they have developed, their skill, all the things that they've learned, you can enhance them as well. So it's a big gap in the market as well. So you have this positive psychology principles that are backing this up, and then you see this market as well. There, the massive population out there who are high flyers, they're high achievers, or they want to be high achievers, and they have their life together, they have their shit together, as they say. Okay, so what do you do now? Can you target them? Can you work with them? Yeah, of course you can. And that is where you use hypnotherapy to look at what is working for them and how you can enhance them. And so the one caveat is that when you're working with a client who is looking to enhance their performance, and I mean in anything, we'll go into specifics later on.
mm-hmm,
Again, the client has to be proactive. This is not magic. Whoever you're working with must know what is it they're looking to enhance,
mm-hmm,
what gaps are they looking to fill, where do they want to go. They must have a plan. So let's imagine, if somebody, like, we're talking about business. So if
mm,
somebody comes to you and say, like, I want to double my sales, like, I don't know anything about your business, I don't know about your industry, that. Okay, so do you have a plan on how to go there? It might not be the best plan, but you have something that looks like a plan, and then we can work through that plan with hypnosis. Okay, so anybody who wants to achieve a lot and use hypnotherapy must have some kind of a plan, because I am not the expert in your life, in your field. You're a PhD student doing a dissertation. You're saying, I want to write 100,000 words. Like, I have no clue what you're talking about. Do you have a plan? Let's write down the plan and work on it. Because when you're working like that, I'm just adding more. You're not
mm.
just using hypnotherapy, which is extremely powerful. Obviously, you can enhance, like, we'll get to that later. But you're not using hypnotherapy. You're also using accountability coaching. You
Right.
also have a plan laid out in front of you, and you are accountable to this person, me in this case, to come back every week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks and figure out, okay, where are we along the plan? Is it working or not? Why is it
Mm,
not working? And then use hypnotherapy as well, which is, in my experience, extremely powerful if you're working on these kind of things, on performance especially. So it becomes extremely powerful. And the beginning is always to have a plan. Again, this is not magic. The client has to be proactive. There has to be a
and we
plan.
work backwards, right? Like you have a goal and then let's work backwards. And that's that
Yeah.
the 10% conscious. So we're 10% conscious, we're 90% subconscious. What hypnosis does or hypnotherapy does is we work on removing the blocks here on your 90%, whatever's stopping you, or enhancing your special skills. And then 10% is actually taking the action. So if you're marketing some product or doing some service, here's where your marketing plan or your action plan is. So
I'll
you
give an
need to,
example.
yeah,
I'll give an example. Uh, let's say you are in due for a very heavy negotiation tomorrow. Okay. Now, I don't know about your product or your industry. Okay.
right.
So let's lay it out. What's your plan?
Mm,
Okay. What price do you want to go? What's your highest? What's your lowest? Who are you dealing with? Everything is done. Okay. I'm obviously being very quick. This will
mm,
take much longer. But let's say you have a plan for tomorrow. Okay. So now let's visualize that. How will you behave? How will you talk? And so on. And you go through the whole thing. And what I tend to do is, for example, if you're working for a specific event, the hypnotherapy becomes more frequent as you get nearer to that event. If it's for something, it's not for every day. If you let's say you have a game coming, a
Hmm.
sports game coming, all right. So as you get closer to that game, the hypnotherapy also becomes more frequent. So I mean that's how you do it. So if you have a game plan in mind, hypnotherapy becomes so much more powerful.
Absolutely. And I've read actors and all these uh, um I was going to say what athletes. Yes, these guys all use hypnotherapy to, and
Yeah.
visualization
Let,
is
let,
one of the main things
let,
that
let-
they do.
yeah, I'll tell you. I don't know if you know this or not. I don't know how many people who are listening to this know or not. But Wasim Akram is a very famous cricketer from Pakistan. Okay,
Hmm.
his wife was a psychologist. She was a hypnotherapist,
Oh, was she?
and
I didn't know that.
yeah, she was, and
I
she,
think her
and
name was Homa as well, wasn't it?
I think so. Yes, it was Umair
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. There we go.
And Wasim Akram has actually spoken about this self hypnosis, relaxing himself before a game, visualizing it before a game, and he said it. He said it like 9 out of 10 times. Whatever I used to visualize used to happen. Now this is a very high achiever. This is not some guy on TikTok saying stuff. This is some guy who has achieved everything.
Right.
I'll give another example of Mike Tyson. So I don't know if you
Yes.
know this or
Mhm.
not. Mike
Yes. Yes.
Tyson used to do hypnotherapy every single day until his first match, since
Mm.
he was a teenager. Since he was a teenager till his first match, every single day. And so you must have heard about how Michael Phelps uses visualization.
I have faintly. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So that is a very interesting topic. So, if you're so what traditionally we will do with hypnotherapy, this is getting a little deep now. So what we do traditionally with hypnotherapy is that you go into a plan. Okay,
Hmm.
you make a plan and then you visualize that plan. Obviously, all right. That is very basic.
Yes.
What Michael Phelps used to do was slightly different, but it's very very interesting and very very helpful if you're doing with a hypnotherapist. So his visualization was not to visualize the perfect incident.
Hmm.
Do you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay. So his visualization was supposed to be extremely precise, extremely slow, so he could figure out exactly in that moment what could go wrong and what he needs to work with. So, what could go wrong? Can I slip? Can I not hear something? Can I slow down? Can I not breathe enough? So he would use visualization to figure out, okay, where will I crack? Where will I possibly crack? And to make sure he mends all those cracks.
Wow, that's interesting, eh?
So yeah, so if you're trying to perform extremely high, that is the way to go. And you can do that with a hypnotherapist. You can discuss it in hypnotherapy, like we do with RDT.
Hmm.
We visualize and we discuss it. There's a back and forth, there's a question and answer. And you try to figure out, okay, what can go wrong and how to make sure you're prepared for all of that. You can do that with the negotiation as well. Okay, you have a price set, but the client says this, okay, what happens then? So you can prepare yourself for all of that.
The objections and the rejections and
Exactly,
the what have
exactly.
you.
So
Yeah.
what's your next step? So what are you going to do? So when you go even above that, you can do all of that. People do that.
And the fears that come up that's actually stopping you from moving forward. So we're working, okay, what's
Yeah.
the fear that's coming up? Okay, fear of, the common one, rejection, abandonment. And then we go back, regression, or what,
Of course.
just
I
work on
mean,
those layers.
yeah. I mean, as you know, we have with therapy, with hypnotherapy, you have to work with what comes up. So
Exactly.
obviously, that it can open up into anything. It might not open up at all, but it can also open up into anything.
It
And you
can
all need
actually
to.
open up to anything. I had one client go into past life when I was doing
Yeah,
regular regression, and I was like,
happens.
oh. But
Happened
it
to me
is,
as well. It's happened to me twice actually.
yeah, and
So
it's so
you never
interesting
know
how
what
the
might come.
session just flows like they're in past life, and I was like, oh, this is quite interesting. Let's do this. It's amazing. So I worked with a soccer player once. He's now in Brazil. I'm currently working with a tennis player, and to your points, just enhancing their skills that they already have. And then again, when we're talking about playing, okay, what are the fears that are coming up? I'm not good enough. That's like the common thing. I'm not good enough. I haven't
Yeah.
practiced enough. I haven't
Fear
done
of
this.
failure.
I'm a
Fear of failure is
failure,
one.
and it's all these, and it's not their voice, right? It's somebody else's voice in the head that's playing, because and then we release that, and of course the install and download is more of the hypnosis audio that I make for my clients, or in RTT as well, that they listen to every single day, which because the mind loves repetition. So we have the rules of the mind as well, that the mind loves repetition. So the more you repeat this audio or the positive affirmations and the positive messages, the more it kind of sinks in and becomes stronger and part of you. So hypnosis is, I mean, absolutely amazing. I love it. I love what I do. Umair, you know this, the
Yeah,
passion.
yeah, of course.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
was having this discussion with my mother, and my mother loves hypnotherapy as well. She's the one who
Yes.
actually introduced me to hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
And we were discussing how, and this is very important for anybody who's listening, who has not been to a hypnotherapist yet. When you go to a hypnotherapy session, you don't start questioning, okay, is it working? Is it working yet? What's going on? You don't do that. Okay. It's like, I mean, how should I put it? It's
You
like,
just have to go with the flow. You just have to trust the process.
yeah, exactly. It's like you're going to the gym and you're weighing yourself every day. And the
I
more you
like
weigh, the
that.
more
I
anxious you
like that.
become.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. So you don't start figuring out, is it working? Is everything okay? You don't do that. You go with the flow. You experience it.
Hmm.
My own hypnotherapist, Max Babri, told me once, Amar,
Yeah.
you have to experience it. It's about experiencing the session, being with the person. It's not about taking notes. It's not about, you know, it's not that kind of an effort. You have to experience it,
Yeah.
and that's how it's supposed to be.
And to your point, communication and building that relationship with your hypnotherapist, whoever it is, in person, online, everything is online now. I've been doing online since 2016. So
Yeah,
it's
I
not a
mean,
new concept for doing hypnosis.
it's
And
it's
I
been
get this, sorry?
it's been primarily online for me as well.
Exactly, yeah, and we've exchanged sessions too. And the main question I get asked, but does it work the same way? Don't you have to like, look into my eyes, look at the spot? I'm like,
No, no, no,
no.
no.
In fact, I find it, Umair, it's interesting that because hypnosis is a relaxed state of mind and body, that when they're in the comfort of their own home, and this is what I tell my clients, you're in the comfort of your own home, your own space, you're in your pajamas, you're in your bed, you're under the duvet, you're already in that relaxed environment. So, getting
Safe place.
deeper into
You're safe
hypnosis and you
place.
feel safe and comfort, right? So you're already in that zone anyways. And then, just getting into hypnosis is so much more easier. And when I say getting into hypnosis, it is not talking to evil spirits and jinns. It's an actual a guided meditation that I use. There are lots of ways of getting into hypnosis, but I use the guided meditation kind of thing. Close your eyes, relax, breathe in, drop your shoulders, relax your jawline, get, and we just go through the whole process, and it takes about what, 5-7 minutes. Um, yeah, so it's a really
This question
guided.
about whether it works online or not. I mean, let's give you an analogy. I
Mm,
mean, again, for me, and you know this, in hypnotherapy, the most important thing is your relationship with your therapist. The most important
absolutely.
thing for me. All right, and I have a very strong relationships online with people I have not met.
Yes.
Okay, okay. I mean,
Example.
they're like my exactly.
Yes. We've never
So you
met.
can
We've
have
never met.
you've never met, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can have extremely good,
Hmm.
fulfilling relationships on. If you can do that, you can have a good therapy session. It's all about if you can get along with the person. It doesn't matter. And you know this. I don't know if you know this or not. You probably know this. But before video call was a thing, people were doing hypnotherapy on phone calls as well.
Oh,
Not a
absolutely.
big
There's
deal.
still some
Yeah,
people who do it over the phone.
yeah,
Yeah, I understand.
yeah.
But I just like to see the person, that energy is different, the body language, and yeah, it's just
But
nice to
but
have
but
it.
if you can have a good relationship with somebody, the medium doesn't matter. It really does not. I'm being. I did a few sessions on WhatsApp with somebody, no video. They were very shy. They said no video. I said okay, and it was fine. It was perfectly fine. They loved it as well. Yeah, I said fine,
Somebody
okay.
asked me to do hypnosis in Urdu, and I said, as much as I love the language and I speak it, I can't do hypnosis in Urdu or any other language. And
I
then
know
somebody
somebody. Go on, go on.
No, I said somebody asked me to do the hypnosis audio in Punjabi, and I said, "A, I don't speak the language." And second, then I actually got it done from a friend of mine who's here, and she did the whole audio in Punjabi. And when I heard it, I was like, "Wow, this is very strange." It just sounded so
Yeah.
strange, hypnosis in Punjabi, which is I
So
was like, "Okay," but I just sent it to her.
I know somebody who does hypnotherapy in Punjabi as well. By the way, they can do it in English, Urdu, and Punjabi. They're
Wow,
so
that's
comfortable.
like such a
Yeah.
skill, right? I was like, I can't. Can you do it in Punjabi, Umair?
No, not at all. I can't do it in Urdu as well. But during COVID, there was this project online. I don't know if you were part of it or not. Do you remember this project during COVID where hypnotherapists were making hypnotic audios in their local languages?
Oh yes, for RTT.
It, it wasn't RTT actually. I don't think
Okay,
it was RTT. I
because I
forgot.
did I did a clip for RTT in Urdu,
No, it wasn't
not
a clip.
hypnosis, but
It was a hypnotic tape.
okay.
So everybody was doing it in their local languages, so I did it in Urdu as well, by the way. And that took me a lot of time.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, because we're not used to it. We studied in English, we practice it in English,
Yeah,
and
it's just these
we're not
words you
used
need
to
to
a,
use, and it
yeah,
starts to sound funny. So your energy just completely throws you off.
yeah, but I have to say, people who speak that language and who are more comfortable with that language, for them, it means a lot. You know,
Yeah.
imagine you and I trying to have a therapy session in Urdu.
Oh my
You
God, I'll
know,
be laughing. I would be
so for them, it
laughing
makes a difference.
hysterically. I mean, how do you even do it? I'm not even going to get to it, but okay. All right, let's talk about more about the enhancement. So
All
you
right.
said
So
hypnosis helps actually bring out the best version of you, I guess, right?
yeah.
So you
So
already have this.
I'll give an example. So first
Sure.
of all, the foundation understanding should be, in my opinion, at least that is for me, and that's how I read about it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot where I read, but they said the original positive psychology concept was hypnotherapy. Because when hypnotherapy began, it wasn't about fixing a problem, it was about enhancing whatever you have. At its
Right.
most simplest, relaxation.
Yes.
Relaxation is not fixing anybody. It's what we do all the time. It's just trying to enhance that. Or focus. You know,
Yes.
hypnotherapy is relaxed focus. So focus is not something we're trying to solve. It's a quality that we have as human beings. We're just trying to enhance that so we can get into that state. So hypnotherapy itself, I forgot where I read this, was the first positive psychology modality where you're looking at a person's strengths and working on that. Let's look into, because I've worked on academia with my nieces and nephews a lot
Mm.
since they were very young. And even if you look at how Marissa does RTT with children, she's
Yeah.
not going into for studies actually. She's not looking at what's wrong. She's not going to root cause, none of that. She's just, okay, she's discussing, okay, what's wrong right now? What do you need to improve?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that's it. So when you're looking at academia or you're looking at exams, you're going to look at concentration. Can you focus? Can you manage time? All right.
Mm.
Uh, Retaining memory, staying calm. Now these are not, you're not fixing anything. You're enhancing. Every kid knows how to be calm. You're just trying to enhance that quality during an examination. They all
Right.
know how to concentrate. They always do when they're gaming. You're just trying to bring that into studies as well. Yeah. So these factors are right, and I think to some extent it is important to explain it to them like that, so they understand that, look, we're not. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. We're not. These are all qualities within you. We're just trying to enhance them and bring them into this or for this end. All right.
I like that.
So
Yeah. Mm.
yeah. So if you're working with a kid and you want to make sure they have a good exam, you're going to work on focus. You're going to work on concentration. You're going to work on memory retention. You're going to work on helping them calm down. You're going to motivate them. They're not fixing anything. You're just taking what they are as kids and enhancing them. And even visualization. My nieces and nephews used to enjoy visualization so much. They would ask me for it. Because
Oh,
kids
that's
do that. Kids
so nice.
daydream,
Yeah.
they
They love the
visualize.
fantasy world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they loved it. They loved it. And I know when they were very young, now I don't do that anymore. But when they were very young, if they were watching a cartoon or something, I would incorporate that as well. And I could see them smiling during the session. That was fine.
Exactly. Yeah.
Enjoy it. So again, these are all things that kids love. They do. You just have to bring. I mean, there's nothing wrong. You just have to focus it all on that goal that you have at that moment.
Right. And again, mentioning the fact that, okay, yes, you're enhancing your skills, but then when you start to visualize it, there may be fears that come up, but
You got to be
what,
pragmatic. You got to be
yeah.
pragmatic. Yeah. I mean, you have to be. I have to say this. I mean, when I say this is my approach, I don't say that I don't do anything else. No, this is
No, no.
this is
Yeah.
primarily how I start. But if you're doing therapy, you have to be pragmatic because, I mean, for high achievers, fear of failure is a very big one. Will I be
Yes.
able to do it? Can I do it? What if I can't do it? What will happen then? That fear is the biggest thing, and that fear turns into obsessive thinking. It turns into unhealthy effort. It turns into so many things.
Frustration too, right? It's just frustrating.
I'm sorry.
It's frustrating too. Like,
And it's not useful. Sometimes we fall into that trap. We think worrying is useful, but worrying is not useful. It gets you into that trap. And
overthinking
yeah, I
is, yeah.
mean, and fear of failure gets you into procrastination.
Mm.
It gets you into so many things. And yeah, if these things come up, and obviously, let's be honest, a lot of things, I always tell people that if you have these kind of maladaptive beliefs, this kind of trauma, it's always related to a relationship, primarily with a parent, and then you go back. 90% of the time, it's a parent. And the remaining 10 times it's usually a partner, but 90% of the time it's a parent. And if it comes up, you go there and you work with it. I had this session with a client, and I actually wrote a small paper on it and I gave a talk about it. And really smart, really talented, again, high achievers. You would look at her life and she's like, she, I mean, I don't want to give a bit of background because I don't know if she wants me to talk about it here or not,
For
but
sure. Yeah.
high achiever. Okay. She was trying to build her weight loss business.
Mm.
She had this weight loss, not just hypnosis, but other things as well. And it kept on going back again and again to how her father wanted her to do this, and how mother wanted her to do this, how father wanted her to be good at this, how mother wanted her to be good at this. There was so much. Uh,
Back and forth and
it was there was so much. I mean, there was always this thing in the back of her mind. There was that she needs that approval, and whatever she does without that approval is wrong. And that kept on keeping her from living her life. Whatever. And again, that life doesn't necessarily have to be about just weight loss. It could be about anything. It could be a future partner. It could be what she studies, blah blah blah. And it surprised me a bit as well, because when I started working with her, it seemed like she had everything together and she was extremely smart, extremely talented. But she had that thing in the back of her mind, approval of parents, and that kept her from reaching those goals. And we planned it out, actually. Okay, so what's the plan? How are we supposed to do it? And there was this thing, she just couldn't do that. She said, I can't do that. I don't have enough time. I don't. She kept on giving these excuses, and after a while, I could tell they were excuses. You can always tell
yeah,
when.
absolutely.
Yeah, you
Mm.
can always tell. It's never about time. You don't have energy. If you want to do something, you can. And it became obvious to me there was something going on, and it was that approval. And then I had to get rid of that fear of disappointing her parents, or that she had already disappointed her parents with her choices.
And of course,
And
it was all at the subconscious level. She didn't know consciously that she was doing this.
she did not, like, first of all, she did not even speak about it beforehand until we
Okay.
got there. Yeah. And then I don't think she could make the connection. She
Right.
was not able to make the connection with the memories that came up,
Mm.
and how that was stopping her from following that plan. She could not add two and two. And
Mm.
it happens. You have to help them out. Look, you will always have this fear in the back of your mind that if you go through with this plan, you're going to be disappointing your parents. And there's always going to be something in your mind that is going to be keeping you from reaching that stage that you want to reach. You have to explain it to them. And then they realize, oh, yeah, okay, that's stuck in the back of my mind.
The
Because
aha
there is,
moment in
yeah,
hypnosis.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so you can see them, not their eyes light up because their eyes are closed, but you can see their facial expressions change.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
This is
oh,
why,
yes.
it's so
Oh,
important to
okay.
read the body
Yeah, yeah,
language.
yeah.
Yeah.
That light bulb went off, and she instantly recognized it. And I followed her up for a very long time. She was very happy. But it's
That's
very important.
very nice.
If it comes up, you deal with it. That's your job. You deal with it.
No, but we are
And
taught to just shove it under the rug, right? Just suppress it.
I think you might agree that I actually wrote a small post on Reddit about this. That if you look around, a lot of what happens is because of that. Nobody wants
Exactly.
to talk about their feelings
Nobody
or
wants to talk about it.
emotions
And this is why
because
COVID was very good for business because now people didn't have anywhere to go or escape, no work, nothing. So now they're sitting with their feelings and they're like, oh shoot, what do we do with these feelings? And then they're like reaching out for help. So COVID, alhamdulillah, I mean, it's really
yeah,
good for
and
business.
I think anybody who's listening to it right now, they must
Yeah.
understand that yes, and Huma knows this too on a personal level. I know this too on a personal level. We're all the same. We're all human. It is difficult sometimes to talk about your uh, issues. It's difficult to talk about history, your past, your relationships. It's difficult. Not I know everybody is not comfortable, but
Yeah.
when you're working with a therapist like Huma, like me, I mean, we understand. We've been through it. We've seen it. We understand. You understand it's not always easy. We understand sometimes you cannot talk about everything in one session. I
Mm.
know. Sometimes we know it's painful and you want to stop. We know. We understand. But as long as you're committed to change, even if it takes a little longer, that's okay. As long as you're committed to it. And RTT, as Human knows, RTT is basically brief therapy, but it does not have to be brief therapy. Okay, so it's supposed to solve everything very quickly, but it doesn't have to be. We can pace it as much as the client wants it.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes
So
I feel it gets too long and the clients get tired and I get tired because it always
yeah,
gets
yeah, yeah. You don't
energy
have to do it
draining.
in one sitting.
So
It
yeah,
can take
exactly.
time. You take your time. I know people who have taken a lot of time, but the
Mm,
important thing is you're committed to that. Okay. And again, we all have a life. Things go up and down. Not we can't have a session. Let's say we can't have a session every week. We have sometimes we have failures. Things are low, but as long as you're committed, as long as you're talking to the person, you'll be fine.
yeah.
That I assure you. I assure you, as long as you're talking to a person, as long as you're talking to Huma, as long as you're talking to me, as long as you're discussing it, you're willing to discuss it, you'll be fine.
Yeah, and it's like the more we know, the better we can help you. It's like going to a doctor's office and not sharing all the details. Like, how are they going to prescribe you the
Yeah.
right medications, or going to a
Yeah.
lawyer and hiding facts? They won't be able to help you. We don't always need to know. We can also work content free, but like I
Definitely.
said, the more we know, the more we can kind of plan the session and kind of guide the session through. Umair, you brought up a good point about procrastination. I just want to go back to that. And a lot of people think it's about being lazy. Oh, I'm so lazy, I keep procrastinating stuff. But it's actually it's more deeper than that. It's more emotional, like fear of rejection, fear of failure that comes in
Yeah.
without us consciously realizing that, oh my god, that's what's stopping me.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it also manifests into physical ailments like knee ache or pain in the leg or in the feet. If and
200%.
you know about this, right, Umair?
You get
The
ill. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I know about that. Yeah.
So Louise Hay, for those of you who don't know, she's passed away now, but she speaks about diseases in our bodies and how they are linked to the emotions. Our body's trying to talk to us, but obviously we don't understand, so it manifests into physical diseases, which relate to the emotions. So what hypnosis does, or how hypnosis can help, and again, there are no guarantees, and it's not 100%, but most of the time, is we release the emotional attachment to the disease, and then the body tends to start to heal itself. So this is my Bible for any physical ailments, honestly, and it 90% of the time it's true, it's right. Lower back pain is to do with finances. Like I said, feet and knee aches is more about, okay, you have a goal and the pain is actually stopping you from reaching the goal, if it makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It does because in RTT we have this concept about secondary gain as well. So,
absolutely, love
so it
that.
is that secondary gain. Your subconscious is trying to keep you into that place. It'll figure out a way to keep you into that place.
Yeah, and its
It
subconscious
is,
mind wants to protect you and keep you safe,
yeah,
but it
yeah,
does that in either positive ways, mostly negative ways.
yeah. It's a survival brain. That's what it does. So it tries to survive, but I mean, only in the short term. In the long run, it just hurts itself.
Yeah, but it becomes a habit, it becomes a part of who you are, it becomes your ID.
That's again, I had to bring this up. Even when you're working with performance, you understand that okay, there's a mental aspect to it,
Yeah,
but there's a behavioral aspect to it as well.
right.
You can give if you
If
give
you give
somebody a
somebody
routine to work with, if you break up their plan into smaller parts, it's extremely helpful. So there's always a behavioral aspect as well. And by behavioral aspect, I mean you have to take action. You take action. You don't become a good academic by thinking yourself to be a good academic. No, you open the book, you plan it out. Okay, I'm going to study half an hour. I'm going to study 15 minutes. Okay, I'm going to practice my exams. So there's always a behavioral aspect as well. As long as you're taking action, even small action, you're moving forward. I think that is really important,
Oh, absolutely.
especially for procrastination. So you work on that, but then you break up that plan and you say, okay, how do you move forward? Okay, let's talk about fitness. Okay,
Mhm.
so there's somebody who's led a sedentary lifestyle all okay since he was a kid. So what do they do now? Okay, he's really big, can't even get up, his knees hurt. What do they do? What do they do? Okay, you say, okay, first of all, look, you've achieved all of this in life. You probably have a good job or whatever it is. Okay, so obviously you have that will, you have that motivation, you can do anything. Let's
Mhm.
enhance that. Okay, then you have a plan. Okay, you can't walk 4 miles. How long can you walk? 5 minutes. Do it for a week, and let's see what happens next week. Do it for 15 minutes. Let's see what happens. And you help them develop these habits. And use hypnosis to help them develop these habits as well. That becomes extremely powerful. If you can break that down, you can get people out of that rut. Because, as you said, it's about that habit. You have to mental habit and physical habit.
Yeah, and I think baby steps is the way to go because you don't want to shock your subconscious mind either, right? And so subconscious mind is like, what? One day you're saying this, and the other day you're saying this. It's like it doesn't match. So you need to kind of
No,
bridge it and baby steps. And again, it gives you that confidence to, oh, I did, 5 minutes of walking today. Maybe
yeah,
next week I
exactly.
can do 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. So it builds that confidence as well. I love that. Yeah.
It gives you
Um,
that positive feedback. So so you're working with a therapist and you're seeing progress. Oh wow, okay, I can walk 5 minutes. Can I walk 10 minutes? You're working with a therapist and you see progress again, and that gives you even more motivation. So that's positive feedback that goes again and again and again.
yeah,
Okay,
accountability, challenging
again,
yourself, confidence. There's so
having a
much.
new plan, having a new goal, moving forward, having hypnosis, having visualizing that path that you're taking. I mean, when you're doing it slowly over a period of time, that can lead to a lot of changes.
Yeah, and it's longer, it's more effective when you're doing it more slowly because then now you're changing your ID, you're changing your habits, you're rewiring your thought patterns,
Yeah.
you're releasing all the fears that are coming up. So it's a whole wellness.
And
um,
more importantly, I think again, I think it's important to go with the pace of the client.
yes.
Again, not everybody, you don't, okay, it can happen. I'm not saying it won't happen, but you can't have a 2 hour session with somebody and expect them to run a marathon. I mean, it's very unlikely.
Very
It's
unlikely,
very
very, very
unlikely.
unlikely.
Okay.
However, I must say I have had clients who had overnight transformations in just one session too, especially smoking. There was one smoking client, but when I saw him, he was like in mid 40s, and we did a session on the smoking. And again, it's not about the smoking itself but the emotions, the underlying emotions. And we went back, we did some age regression, went back. He was 16, and his girlfriend broke his heart, and he
Mhm.
had no support. So the only thing that was there for him was cigarettes. So cigarettes was, lifelong
The
friend,
support.
always there for me, the support. So, and after that one session, when he got that aha moment during hypnosis, he quit. And I was like, wow. He did take a long time to process the session, though. It took about a week because everything opened up for him, right? And then it just process, and after a week, boom, he was done. There was another client who had misophonia, which is like the sounds like clock ticking, someone chewing, pen clicking, those kind of sounds that irritate the person and frustrate them. Like she had no social life because she couldn't go into a gathering and hear people chew, so she's just stopped going out. That was again one session, and boom, next day it was so much better, so much better. The intensity kept reducing every single day then. So yes, we have miracles too in hypnosis when we do
Yeah,
it,
yeah, we do have miracles,
which is
but
great.
I always, I don't want, again, I don't want everybody to go out
Yeah,
of a session and say, okay, why it's not working?
correct,
That's not
yes,
how it's supposed to
absolutely.
be.
Mm,
Yeah, but yes, you can certainly have very quick transformations with hypnotherapy, and we've seen this, Huma, you and I, we've seen this in our sessions, and I think there's a lot of documented evidence as well. I mean, you can just go and get case studies online, documented evidence of people changing, some extremely miraculous, but it happens. Yes. And I'll tell you one thing: if you're working with something like, and I've seen this happen in front of me, if you're working with something like, um, your exams coming up
mm.
or a sports match
Driving
tomorrow.
test.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say you haven't had hypnotherapy with this person since a long time. We have not worked on it with a plan.
Mm,
Okay, just having one session before that exam, before that sports match, it's gonna help a lot. And I'll tell you something else, Soma. When you're working with performance, it's not like working with smoking cessation.
yeah,
You know, it's not binary. It's not that it doesn't work or doesn't work. Even a small improvement is going to have a big difference. So a 15%, let's say a 15% improvement in your math exam can be life changing. A 10% difference in your academic performance can be life changing, because the margins, when you're performing so high, the
right.
margins are so thin. So
Mm.
even if you do one session and they've improved like 10-15%, which is not a big deal, obviously, I mean, that is a big improvement when you're talking about performance, when you're talking about life changing performance. Okay. So even if you do it once just before an upcoming event, it's going to be extremely helpful. I assure you, it's going to be
Yeah,
extremely helpful.
absolutely. And there's another point I want to bring up, Umair. People think it's the same thing. Being hypnotized is going to be about sleep, and like they're this apprehensive about how is it going to feel. Um, let's talk about that a little bit.
How does it feel? Okay, so first of all, I always tell people, and this is, first of all, there is no way it feels. Everybody experiences it differently.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like saying, what do you feel when you watch a movie? Everybody experiences it differently, okay?
Correct.
And every experience can be different as well. So you can come to Huma or me for session number one, you will feel certain thing. By session three, you may feel a certain different way. Okay, so there's nothing magical about it. Again, we're just communicating. Okay, sometimes you will get very relaxed, sometimes you might not get very relaxed, and that's fine. Sometimes you will lose, if you're going through guided meditation, sometimes you will lose track of it. Sometimes you will remember every single word, and that's fine. It's about experiencing it. Just experience it. It's not that different from guided meditation. It's not that different from daydreaming. Okay, it's not that different from, again, watching a movie that where you forget what's going on around you and you're just so engrossed in it that you forget about it and you phase out completely. It's not that different from it. But they don't imagine, and I've had this a lot of people say this: oh, I didn't go deep. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't do this. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not the depth that matters, it's the communication, the rapport, the experience of going through the whole session. So there's no, don't, I would urge people not to think that there's some certain thing they have to feel, and that is what hypnosis is supposed to be like.
Or they
There's
get
supposed
pressured to give us what we want to hear. And I said, no.
yeah, no, no,
So
no,
I
no. There's
always
no
say,
pressure.
listen, there's no right way or wrong way of doing this. Whatever you're experiencing is
It's
perfect.
fine.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Whatever you're experiencing is fine, and that's how hypnosis is supposed to be. I don't know how people got this idea. Maybe again from movies, seeing people go into a
Perhaps.
trance.
No.
Even, and this is dog. Even a trance is not always necessary. As long as you're relaxed, you're talking to a person, you're communicating, you're going through the session, you're good.
We
Okay,
have
you don't have.
conversational hypnosis as well. We don't need to have a trance. We
You
just have
have
a
conversation hypnosis. You
yeah.
have waking hypnosis in sports and fitness.
Walking as well.
Walking as well, yeah. There's nothing, no one way to experience it. If you're working with somebody like Huma and me, your primary thought should be about just going through the thing, experiencing it like you experience it with a friend. There's nobody you have to impress, there's nobody you have to follow. You're just going through this experience like you would with a friend. And if there's a plan, if you're coming for a session 2, 3, 4, you show up. That's
Yes.
all you really have to do to create change. That's all you really have to do. No, you don't have to go to, because I have a lot of people who say, oh, I wasn't that deep. Oh, I understood every single word. Oh, I'm listening to the audio session, but I can remember everything. I'm not falling asleep. Like, none of that is supposed to happen. Nothing is supposed to happen. What's supposed to happen is for you to take that experience, to take it all in. That's supposed to happen. All right. So don't. There's no proper way. There's no correct way. I don't say there's no correct way. Okay, if you shouldn't disturb a session. If it's happening, you shouldn't try to sabotage it. You shouldn't just get up and walk away. Okay, so you should go to the bathroom beforehand. You should make sure your phone is closed. There's no
Yes.
disturbance. There's no noise. We are in our own environment, making sure that we are, vibing, so to speak. That's all you have to do. So as long as there's no distractions, you're hooked into each other, you're talking, you're discussing, you're going through the experience, you're good. You're really good. Okay. And
Exactly.
let me tell people who are scared of hypnotherapy or have apprehensions about therapy in general, just the fact that you showed up is a massive deal. Most people don't show up. Most people don't even accept that they want to improve their life. They don't. They will
Yeah.
say there's nothing wrong with it, even. Most people think, unfortunately, there are also people who think they cannot have a better life. So just the fact that you showed up is a great start. Okay,
That's
you're
like
already well
halfway
ahead.
healing right there.
Yeah, you're already well ahead of the rest of the world. So just the
Exactly.
fact that you showed up, you have already taken a massive step. Okay, so just don't be afraid. Don't have. I mean, we are always here to answer any questions you may have. Homa and I, we both have experience. We've both done so many sessions, and we both try to be as honest. Not try to be. We are as honest as we can,
Yes. As
because
transparent as we
as
can.
transparent. Yeah, because we know hypnosis, we know what it is. Okay, and we are open to talk about it. We can discuss any apprehension, any questions you may have. So just don't be afraid. As long as you're showing up, you're contacting somebody, you're talking to somebody, you're taking those first steps, baby steps, you're good.
Yeah, exactly. And please note that we provide a very safe, non-judgmental environment. So, like I said before, the more you share with us, the better. We do not judge. We are trained not to judge. We actually empathize with you and say, yes, we understand
We
what you're
won't
saying.
do this if we did not emphasize. We wouldn't do this.
Exactly. And we've
We
all had our own journey as well. And we've reached here after a lot of work, I can speak for myself, a lot of work done on me, whether it's self hypnosis, whether it's, exchanging sessions with colleagues. Umair and myself, we've exchanged a few sessions as well. And just reaching out for help. Like, you can't always do the work yourself. Sometimes reaching out for help really, really makes a big difference in your life. And remember this, when you change, or where you're healing from your own traumas, big or small, trauma doesn't mean something big has to happen. Whatever it is, childhood traumas or current, like Umair mentioned earlier, it could be a partner as well. You are making a difference in your life. You're changing your relationship with yourself and all the other people you're connected with. Because once you change internally, external patterns will change as well. And life will become not only better for you, but your other relationships as well and other aspects of your life. Umair, chime in.
And life is all about relationships.
Yes.
All life is just a bunch of relationships. You have your parents, you have your friends, you have your family. That's all you have. Even if you're a workaholic, you have your coworkers, you have your suppliers, you have your customers. So life is all about relationships. So the better those relationships are, the better your life is.
Communication. That's what I got from today's session.
Communication.
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 That's what it is. Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Where's this pinned? Does anyone watching live or on replay, if you have any questions, please ask them. We are here to clear misconceptions about hypnosis and how amazing it is that it can help in so many different various topics, challenges, small or big, doesn't matter. There's no small or big. Something small for me could be big for you, something big for me could be small for you. It doesn't matter. Come and talk to us. We offer free
Yeah.
consultations. If it's not just us, there are so many other therapists out there, hypnotherapists out there. Reach out to somebody if you have any questions about hypnosis. My website is there. Umair is there. Umair, how can people reach you? I'm just going to put that.
Well, okay. So my website is thecognitiveconsultants.com. If you could write it down in the YouTube tag, perhaps that's easier. Or you can just email me at umair@gmail.com. That's my email that I'm on 24/7 all the time. umairlooms@gmail.com.
Okay, so I'm just going to put that up.
Yeah. That's the easiest way to reach me, quickest way to reach me. And if you just Google my name, Umair Usman, and write RTT, I'll show up in Google. There are not many people named Umair Usman who are doing RTT.
Oh, I should Google myself and see if that comes up.
Yeah, you'll show up. You will show up probably as well. You have quite a bit of online footprint. I know that.
Yeah, because I'm just like out there, informing people about hypnosis and how wonderful it is and how it can help. Not necessarily come to me, but just the fact that there is something, and it's mind science. And if you listen to Dr. Joe Dispenza, who actually healed himself through visualizations, if you know about him,
Yeah,
Umair,
of course. Yeah, of course.
he now talks about woo-woo stuff, like the energetic spiritual aspect of things, and now
Yeah.
he's broken it down into actual science, so it makes so much more sense. So if guys Google Dr. Joe Dispenza, he is amazing. His work is just fabulous. I love his work. It takes a little while to understand what he's saying because he goes so deep.
Yeah, he's so passionate, isn't it? He
He's so
speaks with so much
passionate. Yeah.
passion. He's like he's discovered gold and he wants to share it with everybody. That's his
Exactly.
passion.
I feel
So
that about
energetic.
hypnosis, right? Oh my God, this is gold. I need to share it with people, right? And then when I went out there and I said, come, I'll give you free sessions. This is like 10 years ago. People started saying I speak to evil spirits and jinns, but
Yeah.
that's a topic
No,
for a different day.
but I want to reiterate my point as you were saying that
Yeah.
hypnotherapy is very versatile. There's so many issues you can work with, but I want to repeat again, it's not, even if you don't have an issue, even
Yes.
if there's something you want to enhance, you want to improve in your life, you want to make your life better, you know, uh, again, it's not just sports, academia, or management. It's anything you want to enhance, anything you want to improve, you can do that with hypnosis. So even if your life is great and you have like a tennis match coming up in the country club, you can use hypnosis to improve it. Oh yeah, you can definitely. In fact, I've read a whole book about improving your golf game with hypnotherapy. Trust me, that's the thing.
Wow,
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's a very
All right, so
good book.
quickly before we wind up, tell me about one case. We won't discuss names, of course, but something that stuck with you in the past experiences that you've had working with clients.
Mm,
Maybe a
all right.
sports enhancement. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking of something. Okay, so there was this guy. Um, he had to work. This is again, I don't know if you're into it or not, but let me just put it like that. So he had to work on his off spin. Okay, he was a cricketer. a
Okay.
small level cricketer, but a cricketer. He wanted to work in his off spin, and he wanted to just simply wanted to turn it more. That's all he wanted to do. My ball is not turning. My ball is not turning. Okay, that's all he wanted to do. So I sat down with him. I'm like, okay, what does your coach say? What does your coach say about it? He said, my coach has advised me to this and this and this. I'm like, why aren't you doing it? It's like, I don't know, I'm just too lazy and all that. I was like, okay, hold on. Okay, so we know what you have to practice, how you have to practice, right? He said, yeah,
Right.
okay. I said, now let's visualize that. And when I was visualizing that, helping
Mm,
him visualize that, it was extremely detailed. It's not just about, okay, you're going through, no, no, no. You feel your muscle, you feel your fingers on the ball, you feel it, you feel yourself throwing it, tapping
right.
it. You go through it in a very detailed manner and you do it again and again. And then there was another thing we used to do. So we used to say, okay, what do you need more of? So I need to be more energetic. I need to be more focused. I need my muscles to be more in control. So
Mm,
you would say, okay, you visualize a group of cards, and behind every card is one of those factors. So he would say, okay, I want to be more confident. So he would flip that card. So that's
mm,
your confidence. And
mm.
now visualize bowling with confidence. Okay. Then you flip another card. Okay, I want to have a better mind body connection. Okay. Now visualize doing it with better mind body connection. Okay, flip another card. What do you want to have? I don't want to have fear of failure. Okay. Now you're totally calm, totally relaxed. You don't care about the outcome. Now visualize bowling it. So we would go through it one by one, again and again and again. And for him, it happened in like 2 sessions.
I
Like
love
two
that.
sessions, that was
Did
it.
you give him an audio to listen to?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Always. I always give an audio. I
Yeah.
always give an audio. But again, this is there was nothing wrong with him in the sense there was no trauma. It was
Yeah.
all about he had a plan. First of all, he wasn't following the plan that the coach gave him. He already
Right.
knew what had to be done. So we visualized what had to be done, and we did with factors we were enhancing his confidence, being calm, better mind body connection, and so on. And
And
we did
because
it.
your mind doesn't know real from fake, and that's true, your mind does not know real from fake, the mind probably thinks it's, actually doing
There are
the work.
so many studies on sports psychology, sports hypnotherapy, where they say how effective visualization is. It's
Yeah.
remarkable. Let me just say, it's remarkable. If you're a sports psychologist and you're helping or you're coaching somebody, hypnotherapy is so effective. And there are so many, like you Google any academic journal, it's full
Mm,
of it. And when
mm.
I read it, I'm like it's right in front of everybody. What's going on? Why aren't people doing it? Like it's the evidence is right there. So many cases again and again and again. It's
Yeah.
right. I mean, people. It's such a and not. I mean, I even read a paper where somebody was visualizing going to the gym,
Mm.
and it had actual impact on their strength.
Yes.
Maybe yeah, you
No,
must
no,
have
we
read that.
spoke about this. We spoke about this when one of my colleagues was training with me for hypnosis, and we were just mentally imagining.
Yeah,
She was like doing a spinning class. When she came out of it, she was actually red and sweaty, and it's like
yeah,
she
yeah,
had
yeah.
almost just done the
It
class.
changes your strength. It changes your cardio capability. Yeah, yeah, it happens. So the physical changes and
Mm.
the mind-body connection you develop because in sports and athletics, you need that mind-body connection. What you're thinking is actually happening in the body as well. The muscles are also following that. That is so important. And of course, let me put it out there. It's not magic. You have to practice on the field as well. You have to follow what your coaches are doing. You have to have good nutrition and all of that stuff. This is okay. It doesn't mean because you're doing hypnotherapy you don't do anything else. That's just berserk.
It just
Okay.
makes it easier, more flexible.
It just enhances everything. It just
Yes.
makes your nutrition more effective. It makes your coaching more effective. It makes your exercise more effective. It makes everything you're doing more effective. It improves everything you're doing. Okay, so it's an enhancer. It's not a replacement. It's an enhancer. Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Umair, for all that. I mean, I love
No
talking about
problem.
hypnosis, and I can go on talking about it, volumes
Thank
and
you for
volumes
that.
of it. But I
Me
mean,
too.
I know, right? Yeah, we can go on talking about it. It's beautiful. So everyone who's watching, again, if you have any questions, please reach out to Umair. His email address is on showing on screen. If you want to reach out to me, you know where to reach me. So thank you again, Umair, for your time. It's 10
Thank you
o'clock
for having
for
me.
you over there. So good night and thanks a lot. Thank you, everybody, for
Thank you,
joining us
everyone.
live. If you're watching on replay, thank you for watching us on replay. And again, if you have any questions, reach out to me or Umair and have yourself a wonderful day. Thanks, Umair.
Take care.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.